we've had the honor and the pleasure to not only be at the VEITHsymposium to take care of the venous sessions, we've been the course leaders for the last 10 years since Frank asked us. We have seen this meeting grow. You know, we're both older guys, and when I first started coming here, we're both older guys. When you see these kids running around now, you know, 20 years ago when I started coming to this meeting as a vascular fellow, it was all arteries. I mean, what, maybe 4 or 5 vein talks at best.
In 2002, I think there were 2 talks.
Yeah. So Frank asked us in 2006 if we would be kind enough to set up a one-day course, which we did. He put us in a small room down at the bottom of the Sheraton, and after about 20 minutes, I had somebody call Frank, please, because everyone was in the hallway. Frank came in, literally stopped the meeting. We broke down all the heavy equipment, moved rooms to a bigger room to accommodate, and I told Frank, veins are hot. So since that time, he's given us the big ballroom, and we have grown into now a 2 and a 3 day and a 3.5 day event.
And now we've even gone further with this, with the Venous, Venous, Venous course, which is a little bit different than you see with the VEITHsymposium. In our vein talks, we cover the whole gamut, but we don't have a whole lot of time for a panel discussion because we want to give that information to the physicians. And then what we've done with the Venous Venous course is that we have luminaries or key physicians in every one of these particular areas that happen to deal with venous, so that attendees can go up and ask the questions to the experts without feeling put on or embarrassed in the audience. So this gives them that opportunity. Plus, we also are giving lectures in terms of case reports. So even the physicians that are in the know really can learn from that.
Yeah, you know, the main sessions have always been V-style, and you know, Frank's been about keeping these presentations tight. I think 10 years ago they were 7 minutes, now we're at these 5-minute rapid fire, so they're really pointed discussions with pointed rapid panels. But what the workshop brings are these stations where the corporate people all show up with their device, and there's an opportunity for the attendees to actually touch and feel the devices, and then we'll post a luminary there so they can have a one-on-one discussion and not, because we're flying around this meeting. So I think it's a good addition, definitely a good starting point. I think it was well attended. I think we got some ideas for next year to expand it even further. So today is Friday, which was all deep. Yesterday was Thursday, which was all superficial. Any comments about the superficial highlights yesterday?
So where we got into the superficial is that we started from basics and we went into advanced. And what was really intriguing was the newer products, the glues, the cyanoacrylate adhesives, Varithena, which is a chemical, the MOCA procedure, Vascular Insights, which is Claravane, and these are non-tumescent procedures. And we're excited that Claravane has been able to develop a code, a CPT code, which is very important for physicians so that we can be able to use the product without having the patients have to pay out of pocket. And so somewhere in 2017, there will be a code that's developed for them, and that'll allow us to use that. Now, these newer products are a problem for us because insurance companies won't allow us to essentially use them. There's no reimbursement. They're called investigative most of the time. So we're hoping by exposing this that will be great. The second item was there's obviously controversy in terms of local carriers, you know, and every carrier has their determination in terms of what's covered, what's not. And even if you go into the CMS Medicare area, you know that there are different Medicare carriers depending upon what region you're in, and that presents a problem for us. So we're looking for a national carrier coverage determination, and I think that was borne out that the only way we can do this is by consolidation of all of the physicians from all the different specialties that are vested in the venous arena.
Yeah, so not only did we cover the procedural aspects and newer technology, some of the venous governance, some of the overuse issues, the ethics issues. From a meeting perspective, we always got to keep things new and controversial to keep the buzz in the room. So we always refer back to when the endovascular or endovenous revolution started about 15 years ago, which was the thermal devices. And now those have kind of been their standard of care. Now the non-thermals are coming in, but I think where we see the next pop is in the deep system. And you saw that today already, some of the newer devices and techniques, a lot of off-label techniques, the newer stents, the newer issues with inflow as people get more experience. Now we got to tackle the femoral vein inflow and all the creative strategies that we heard of this morning.
So as we go forward, you can really feel that buzz, that passion, as we go from one frontier to the next frontier. And we don't know a lot about deep venous disease. We don't know a lot about superficial venous disease. I mean, we know a lot, but they're missing.
A lot more to learn.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. There is a lot more to learn. But the interesting thing is, as you talk to the experts, there are certain pieces that are missing, and we're sharing all of that knowledge with each other because we're now really pioneering the deep venous system. We know that we don't have a particular device that will do the whole thing. There's no panacea there. There's no way of really measuring collectively about how these patients do after we've treated them, because there's no agreed to score or patient-reported outcome. But with the
exactly
VQI,
where we were 15 years ago with the superficial device.
right? Exactly. So now you're pioneering the VQI, which is a venous registry, and maybe you want to.
Sure. Yeah, I've been again the privilege of being course leader for the Venous Quality Committee for the VQI, which is it's a registry, but more than a registry. It's a Society for Vascular Surgery sponsored endeavor that was translated from the American Venous Forum, or handed off from the American Venous Forum to the SVS. And there are multiple arterial modules, and we're now starting to develop the venous modules. This is important because as we need evidence to, for many reasons, the least of which is the third-party payers, but just so we're doing the right thing for our patients and getting reported outcomes for our patients. But the VQI has come online. We're getting the varicose vein module is on, and so is the vena cava filter. I think we're going to learn a lot more going forward. And as the VQI gains more resources, the next planned module is the venous stent module. These things are very costly to develop, and that'll be exciting because we need a lot more data with venous stents and the deep venous interventions.
And when to do it. So now as we move from being able to complete a procedure, we're now looking for quality. And quality is very important to the patients. It's about patient-reported outcomes. And I think that's where the key, where VQI can help us establish that by data entry. So the more data that we have, the more we can figure out what is it that we're doing that helps the patient.
And it's also one key feature is that we are tracking devices by brand. It's no longer generic, so it's now a real corporate partnership. So when I say it's more than a registry, we've actually been in conversations with FDA. At this meeting, at VEITH meeting, I've already had back session VQIs, 5 back session VQIs, FDA, CMS, corporate sponsors, trying to move this thing forward. But one of the developments is that perhaps the VQI could be used for post-market surveillance. Instead of a company having to do their own post-market, spend money and energy on a post-market trial, perhaps the registry could do that, which is real-world data. Expanding indications and labeling for existing devices. A great example is the venous stent. The wall stent is an off-label stent. It's the most widely used stent in the world. Everybody knows it. There's plenty of data. So why make a stent developer go through something new when there's plenty of historical data? So the FDA is receiving this and taking it in, and we're working through all that forward. And a lot of that happened in this meeting this week.
We look forward to next year as courses in Venous, and it will be new and enlightening again, and we will have rapid fire. So we hope to see you next year as well. Thank you very much for coming this year. For those that weren't privileged enough to come here because of work responsibilities or others, you'll be able to get this course online, VEITH on demand. Both Dr. ALmeida and myself would like to thank Frank VEITH for the opportunity to help him with the Venous course as well as the Venous, Venous, Venous. And we hope to be invited back to help him next year.
I echo that.